welcome to my next project. I got this on Marketplace with a little odd back and forth with the seller. She gave me some strange instructions, and it was like a touchless pickup. And I got all these instructions sent to me. There was never any actual conversation, but I followed instructions and I got there to see it. I viewed it. I was okay with it. I sent the payment as instructed, and I went ahead and loaded it up. So I thought this was a pretty cool dresser, and I'm used to picking things up on my own, so it wasn't a big deal that I had to load this up and of course unload it like I normally do. But I got it home and got a chance to take a look at it, and here it is. A pretty cool Hepplewhite style dresser. It is in a bit of a rough shape. I'll show you in a minute how you can tell it because it doesn't look too bad from afar, but there's a lot going on here. But what I look at is just overall construction, of course, solid wood, dovetail drawers, and 8 of them. So it was a pretty good find. And this hardware is kind of the coveted hardware that if you can save it, that's great. It's just a really desired style. And, I think it's cool. It goes with this design. Every once in a while, I've had to, because of damage or something, swap out the hardware, and I always get a lot of grief for it. But these were actually all intact, so I'm able to save them. And, we'll work on later how I have to deal with the hardware because it's not brass. But anyway, I'm giving this a good cleaning, and it's where I always start because I want to get all the years of grime and waxes and polishes and everything off of here, and it was quite dirty. I don't know how long it had been sitting on the front patio, but it was a bit dirty. I'm just going to get started with the interface pads right from the beginning. And because it has a lot of details and of course all these curves that you can see, so it's just easier if you have something with a pad on it. Now I'm scuff sanding everything right away. This is getting painted. I already know that. So, the quicker I can get in and start sanding, the better. And of course you can see how this pad just fits right into the grooves, and I start sanding the top. So this is a veneer over a substrate, which is pretty typical for this type of piece. And it's funny that sometimes you cannot see all the damage until you start sanding it. And it's very apparent once I start sanding this how worn it really is by this. All of those little areas that are darker white are chips, and they're like dents and chips. And it's funny how when you sand, the dust from the sander just sticks into those areas and it just kind of illuminates them. So glazing and spot putty to the rescue. This is what the best thing for it. Typical wood filler doesn't really settle down in those areas because it just is not deep enough to hold regular wood filler in there, but because this product sort of sticks to the area, it actually is the perfect thing for it. And I like to do this by hand because I have learned that if I get in here with the sander and start doing, I take too much of the product away, and then I'm pretty much back to where I started. So if I do this by hand, I can control a little bit more about how much of that product I take off of there. And I want to take off like 90% of it and leave some because that's how those areas get filled in. It creates a ton of dust. And the only way I have found to do it is just sweep it up and now wipe it off. This is not a water-based product, so it doesn't wipe away like wood filler would. And it's actually fantastic in areas like this. And now you can see that all of those little dents and ding areas are all filled in. I had to do a second round, so you see some there that still needs more sanding, but for the most part, that's all filled in. And now we're going to play Drawer Jenga. This is a game that I like to play every time I get a dresser with the drawers all in the wrong places because none of them seem to be sliding properly, and they were hitting the sides and all this thing. I had to spend some time really messing with all the drawers, but I finally got them in their spot, and then I'm able to get those all scuff sanded and cleaned off. And of course, glazing and spot putty here too, just typical dents and dings. This has been used for the last 50, 60 years. So they do get lots of wear. Now I am laying this down, and when I lay things down, it's typically because I'm doing something to the base. And yep, I'm trimming this. Now I love this style, and I just felt like these little dips right there, it was just a little much for me. So I like to modernize them a bit, but this style really does carry a little bit of a swoosh there, or whatever you want to call that. I always call it swirly bits, but I couldn't quite get the curve right how I wanted it with the tape. So I freehanded it and cut it how I wanted it on one side. And then once I got it where I was like, okay, that's the general idea of the curve, I just created a little template. I've got my little cardboard cutters, which these things are, if you don't have these, I cut up boxes and all kinds of stuff with these things like crazy. They're amazing. So that I made a template so that I could get that same curve on the other side. I just flipped it over and now I can draw it there and cut it again. It just was kind of falling flat for me with how I cut that off of there, and I needed to just do a little bit more. And when it's all said and done here and I get it sanded and all smooth, it's going to blend in. So you're going to just completely forget that I ever did that when you see this at the end. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot that base was different. I had some areas on the base here that you'll see in a second that the veneer's coming off, the wood is delaminating, and it's causing all kinds of issues over here. So this is where the veneer popped off, and then you can see the layers of the wood have all separated, and there's actually some in the center that's completely missing. So whatever wood, there was probably 3 or 4 layers there. One of the layers is just gone. So, years of cleaning the carpets and humidity and who knows what, but that starts to delaminate. And then when I cut it, it just really separated. So I needed to get the veneer back on there, and then I did clamp everything together, but this gap I needed to fill in. So I have some wood epoxy. It's just the epoxy putty. It's a 2-part putty, and you mix it together, and it's just going to be hard as a rock. But I filled in that gap in there with that. So I did put clamps on there, and that's going to sit for a number of hours, so it'll really just harden and be all good to go. Okay, getting the clamp off of there and the tape off of there, that veneer is all good to go. So I can now just sand it. And if you can see now, I'm kind of in the way, but see how that just looks like it was meant to be that way? I don't know why those little dips and those points just, it's not that it dates it or anything, because this is obviously a very traditional style and going to still be dated to its traditional look, but I think that just helps it out a little bit there. Okay, I get this stood back up and it is wobbly. I didn't notice that when I was picking it up, and it's because the feet that are on there are uneven. So somebody had replaced one at one point or another, and one was higher than the other. So I took it out, and I've got a little bin full of all kinds of feet. Now the one I took out of there, I'm keeping. So I have a bin full of every thickness and width of little feet. And I just put another one in there. Now it is solid. So another good wipe down for this. And now all my drawers that are all labeled and in their spot get to go back in. I'm just cleaning everything up. And here we are. It looks a hot mess, but it's going to get pretty here in just a minute. But wow, so many things got repaired. But into the tent we go, because this baby needs some primer. And here we go. I love this part of it where it just looks like that would just be so horrible. And then now you can see that finish is so smooth and pretty. It's just amazing what the right products and just spending the time to sand everything and get it all smooth. It might look horrible when you feel it. It's very smooth. So a good coat of primer to cover all of this up. I was a little worried that this particular piece might bleed, but it did not. So this is not mahogany. It's just I don't know what kind of veneer that was, but it's not something with a high tannin content, so it's not actually bleeding through. And here is my paint. Now this is Melange. It's their new Morphos collection in the color Understory. And you can see this is a really dark and moody color. And it's a really dark earthy green that's almost black. And I don't know, I just thought it was kind of a cool color for this. Now, these particular pieces can carry just about any color. I've done them pink, I've done them navy, they're just the gamut, and they're so versatile. But I just thought this was a really cool color and that it would go good with this style and just kind of make it an upscale, almost real masculine on something that is fairly feminine looking. But I don't know, wanted to do something different. So you can see how warm and earthy that is, but as it dries down, it's going to get really dark. And in some light, I'm looking at it going, it almost looks black, but then you see it in the light and you're like, wait, that's still kind of green. Like here, it's even looking darker, but it is going to dry even darker. This is a good illustration of covering the passes. And when I say that I'm overlapping, I was in the way of it a little bit. But when you're spraying, you want to make sure you overlap each pass just to get even coverage. I've only done one coat and it already looks amazing. But I'm touching up the edges of the drawers in between coats because those sit into the cabinet and they just aren't. This is an all-in-one paint, and so they just didn't get the paint on them as I was painting. And then I took all the drawers out because I wanted to get these areas covered. When you pull the drawers out, these are areas that you can see, and I always want to touch up behind the drawers. Now, those other 3 levels are not supposed to be painted, so I'm leaving those all natural. But look at the inside of my cabinet. It's spotless. That's because I paint with the drawers in. I'm taking my little vacuum and just cleaning everything up one more time because the drawers are going back in. And this is a second coat of paint going on. It doesn't look like it even needs it, but I always do 2 coats, sometimes 3. But this is really nice, even coverage. And part of it is because I'm spraying thinner coats. I can go slow, and then I can really overlap each pass by at least 50%. But that gives you that nice, even coverage. And this is just beautiful. Now, I did multiple coats of top coat as well. And that is an all-in-one paint. It doesn't have to have a top coat, but I like to have a top coat because I like the sheen of it and the extra durability is fantastic. Now it's time to address the hardware, and I almost left it like it was, but I decided to go ahead and freshen it up. This is hardware soup. It's in vinegar and water, and I just heat it up for 10-15 minutes. I don't really boil it. I just heat it up, get it into the sink, rinse everything off, and now I'm going to scrub these with Barkeeper's Friend and steel wool. So I know that these are not brass. They just don't feel like brass. You can tell when they're brass and when they're just metal. And immediately, all of the finish that is on there is just coming right off. So I'm glad I didn't just leave them because over time, they just were not going to hold up. And, I think that, yeah, the others were a good color, but ultimately these needed to be freshened up and they're all rusty and it's disappointing when they come out like this because now I have to paint them, which is fine because they'll actually look brand new. And if you don't have one of these, make sure you get one because otherwise your finger is just killing it. It kind of makes you spray very evenly too when you have that trigger on there. So I love that. Now I'm using my metallic gold that I use when I'm usually freshening up hardware, and it was just golding a little too much because you can see that most of them are one color, and I repainted these on the bottom here a different color, and I'm like, oh, that's so much better. Thank goodness I had that color on hand. Metallic antique brass for the win. Thank you so much. That other one was just too bright. Now, these are going to look a little bit more true to its vintage age, and I'm glad I had that color. I also put a clear coat on furniture, and I always clear coat hardware after I paint it because I want it to be durable. Okay, now it's time to line these drawers. So some of them were in good condition and others were not, so I ended up having to do them all, and there's 8 of them. So I measured the width. Now, this was a curved drawer. It always adds a different element to it. I cut the width, and now I'm going to lay the drawer on top of this and trace it because there's just no way that I'm getting that curve any other way. And I've tried to lay it in there and cut it, and it never comes out straight. When I do it this way, it's going to be perfect. So now I have the exact curve. I put it in the drawer, and I can get this laid in there, and then I have to just trim the back. So I haven't found a way to actually get the right distance for the other part, but this works just fine. As long as I have the width in and I trace the drawer and I get the curve, the only part I have to trim now is the back, and it's a straight line. So it works out just great. So I get that completely seated in there, and I'm just using a plastic putty knife to make sure there's no bubbles or anything. And once I get that done, now I'm going to be able to just trim it, and I'll have a nice straight edge. And then of course I'm remembering now that I have 8 drawers, so there are 7 more to do. I got really good at this, and I actually ended up laying a whole bunch of them out at once and taping them down and just tracing it one more time, cutting them all, and this went a lot faster. But 8 curved drawers. Yeah, that was my evening. And I get everything in there and I get the hardware on. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then you'll see that now I'm sanding. So why am I sanding my completely finished dresser? That would be because I was getting ready to stage it and I saw the outline of a hair. Oh, Obviously mine. I have curly hair. Thank goodness it wasn't in my food, but on my dresser is still no bueno. So had to get that off of there and sand it down smooth. And here we go back in the tent because I just couldn't leave that. And I, needed to sand it down, a couple coats of paint, more top coat. And actually, when I got this done, I was so glad I did it because that was beautiful. And nothing's getting on this thing. I even put the net down. But I peeled that back off and the top was so nice and smooth. So let's take a look back at where this started. Beautiful, but worn and old, and now she's pretty. So this just got a total refresh and a whole new look, and even the hardware that had been through more than I planned turned out so nice. And I love the base. Just all came together. And the top now is so beautiful, even better than it was to start. All the drawers are fully lined. This just turned out to be such a lovely piece. And I'm so happy with it all. I hope you love it as much as I do. Let me know what you think in the comments about this color. I am totally loving it. And if you're thinking you may want to get into furniture refinishing, my beginner's guide is now in a hard copy spiral bound. As always, make sure to subscribe and follow for more makeovers like this. And I thank you so much for being here.